You know, guys, I spent the last couple of days doing some very internal, introspective thinking. I had a lot of things on my mind, like which gooch licker's mother am I going to impregnate next? How much longer of this season do we have left? Are the content creators wrong for overhyping this next season? Are the devs wrong for overhyping the season? And I saw a lot of opinions by a lot of different people saying, hey, don't blame the content creators, blame the devs. And I've seen other people say, don't blame the devs, blame the content creators. Let me just say right now, I'm the scat master, okay? And the scat master does not choose sides that easily. And as a matter of fact, oftentimes, I choose my own side. Both the devs and the content creators that were responsible for pushing forward this false narrative for Season 3 are both to be held accountable. And that was partly what I was trying to do in my previous video. And I was talking about some of the faults with Season 3, but the main point was that Season 3 was generally overhyped by a lot of different people. Well guys, there's been some developments on this story, and some of these big platforms have actually taken a step back, they retraced their steps, and now they're trying to do right by the community, which I agree, I think that's a good thing. But deep down inside, I feel like Coach Master Fooly needs to have a word with you guys. And you can take this as a life lesson too, but I think even though these content creators are apologizing and they're saying they're gonna do better next time, I still think it's fair game to say, fuck that. And even in the future, when you guys inevitably tell us, hold on guys, we know we lied to you before, but this time we're being serious, I still think it's in the community's best interest to still not take that shit at face value. And when it comes to the developers too, whenever they have anything to say about their game advertising wise, you can already see with things like the BLACKCELL gimmick and the new DMZ pay to win bundles, they're not in it for the community's reaction to quality. All they care about is the money. So when it comes to the devs, I'm already disregarding their existence, but when it comes to these content creators and these platforms that wanted to address the issue of the community being upset with them, there are still some things that need to be said. CHARLIEINTEL tweeted out yesterday saying, in the sake of transparency, there was discussions on the creator call last week that led many of us to believe more significant changes would happen than what transpired with the update. We were told there were adjustments to time to kill, especially close range, but that boiled down to weapon balancing and not actual TTK or health changes. We were told there would be movement improvement and fluidity to sliding, diving, and those ended up being extremely minor. We were also told there would be sliding while firing, but at the end was told that was a miscommunication and not happening. We want what's best for Call of Duty and always share our feedback to the developers on everything. What they decide to do with this feedback is up to them. And then he even doubles down and says, I will just add this, yes, we're all in agreement. If we were to join future content creator calls, we will not hype any aspect of it up till the update goes live and everyone gets to see the changes for themselves. So far, I have absolutely no issue with what he's saying right now. But at the same time, as the scat master, I feel like it's my obligation to call out bullshit where I see bullshit. And unfortunately, I like the kindness and sincerity from CHARLIEINTEL and Doug Dimmadome Warzone and all of these other content creators talking about this, but there's still a massive issue that I see with promoting shit for Activision and Infinity Ward. Let me just pull this up by CHARLIEINTEL. He says, and with lots of folks mad about Season 3 update not being enough or saying no one will buy BLACKCELL, herein lies the issue. BLACKCELL is the number 3 selling item on the Steam store. And as you can see, this is correct. I mean, BLACKCELL, for whatever reason, I don't know which gooch licker out there needs to spend their money this badly just to receive Bobby Cosby's backshots in return. I don't know what your fetish is there, but after CHARLIEINTEL said this, somebody responds saying, dude, you're saying you don't meat ride them, but here you are. And CHARLIEINTEL's response, I think, is very interesting. He says, pointing out that all of you attacked me yesterday for BLACKCELL and saying no one is ever buying it, to it being number 3 on Steam's entire charts is the point of the tweet. And I understand what he's trying to say, he's defending himself. But then here comes the scat master, and here is where I lay down some fucking knowledge and some goddamn truth. I genuinely think part of the issue was that before this thing went live, despite you knowing that you thought it was problematic, you decided to promote it and advertise it instead of telling people what you genuinely thought of it. You had a chance to sway a few before it went live. And this is the main issue that I see, guys, because a lot of these content creators can say, you know what, next time we won't overhype it. But it's not even just the fact that they're overhyping it. It's the fact that the developers and Activision literally do not respect you guys. I need these content creators to please understand that their bosses, their daddies up there at the top, they don't give a flying fuck about them, because if they did, they would have been transparent. Hey, you know what? There is no shooting while sliding. I'm sorry for telling you that. Or saying, hey, all of these changes we're telling you, they're very minor. All the developers and Activision did was use and exploit these content creators, and these content creators that want to come out here and say, oh, you know what? Next time we're not going to hype it up. It's not just the fact that you hype shit up. It's the fact that when you see bullshit like the BLACKCELL Battle Pass, you promote it, you advertise it, you show off all of the skins for it, and then you want to tweet out things like, oh, if you think it's worth it, then buy it. If you don't think it's worth it, then don't buy it. At that point, that's where I see bullshit, because I know for a fact you don't think it's worth it. So you should have tweeted out, hey, Activision is promoting this new BLACKCELL shit. I don't think it's good because of X, Y, and Z. And when you have a platform that large, that's where you can actually make an impact on the community, and possibly the shit wouldn't be number 3. If all of these content creators and platforms actually gave a fuck about what the community was telling them, then initially, before even overhyping the new season and the changes, they would have communicated to everybody that, hey, this BLACKCELL Battle Pass that's gonna go number 3 in sales, it doesn't deserve the money it will get, and this is why. And for that reason, I don't remember who commented this on my last video, but I saw it. Somebody thought I was going a little too easy on CHARLIEINTEL in my last video. Now that I'm displaying some hypocrisy out of CHARLIEINTEL, I would like to make things right with everybody. CHARLIEINTEL, you decided to overhype the new season with a whole bunch of other guys. That's okay. You know, the community flamed you for it. That's okay. You wanted to make a response saying, you know what, going forward, we're going to be more transparent with the community, and we're not going to trust the developers that much on their word. Fair play, so far so good. But in the same breath, you're essentially blaming the community for buying the BLACKCELL shit and getting it to number 3, and then when somebody calls you out and says sales don't dictate success, which is the goddamn truth, you want to respond with, this is the issue with the community, sales mean nothing, the game is broken. And Activision's perspective is, sales are going fine, why change anything? So you recognize that Activision is only going off of sales. Yet, when it's time for you to give out information about BLACKCELL, I don't give a flying fuck if you say you're a news channel. That is your moment to actually make an impact on the sales, because you know it's gonna sell. You know how gooch liquors work. You're not new to this shit. And this goes out to every other content creator. I'm just pointing out CHARLIEINTEL in this scenario. If you recognize that it's Activision sales that need to be hurt for things to be changed, then why the fuck, when you had the opportunity to tell everybody before it went live that BLACKCELL was some bullshit, why didn't you do that instead of promoting it and advertising it? So CHARLIEINTEL, you specifically, because of that, because that was such a fat ass fucking L, I would like you to please meet my double barrel shotguns with Dragon Breath and go straight to the gulag and do not come back. I'm sorry, but no matter how much you backtrack, you and many other content creators were part of the reason why BLACKCELL was a success, because when you had the chance to call out the bullshit that it was before it went live and people bought it, you chose to not say shit. Times are changing, guys. It's no longer that the developers are dumbasses or Activision are dumbasses. Some of these larger platforms, I'm sorry if you get offended, and I'm sorry if you think I can't blame content creators. Guys, you must not know who the fucking Scadmaster is. If I wanted to, I would blame my fucking grandma for this shit. We're in a time where, yeah, some of these big platforms, they're also dumbasses. They're also part of the problem. And don't get me started on the gooch lickers. You guys, very specifically, if Bobby Cosby told you to jump off a bridge and land on his sack, you would probably want to do it. I know in this video I'm not necessarily talking about anything season 3 related, but at the same time, I need everybody to recognize that not everybody is safe just because they're a content creator and because they were led on by the developers. Obviously, to the developers, to Infinity Ward and Activision, fuck you guys. And fuck you guys for duping these content creators. I do feel for them. But when it's time for you guys to actually make an impact, a lot of you guys simply aren't. I know there's a lot of friendly fire going on right now, guys, and as a content creator, I should be supportive of some of the other content creators and some of the other platforms, I understand, but if anything, that should just point out to you guys even more what amount of a shit show that Activision and Infinity Ward created, because now everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else, and here I am doing it too. I'll admit, I'm also part of it. But to wrap this up, if Activision and Infinity Ward were just not fucking stupid, and if they actually gave a fuck, then literally none of this would be an issue. And although season 3 wouldn't really be what we wanted, it still wouldn't have been this overhyped pile of shit that it is. I'm not directly going to blame Activision solely, Infinity Ward solely, any of these content creators solely, or even just the Gooch Lickers. It is a combination of those three groups. And to Activision and Infinity Ward specifically, maybe, just maybe, if your game wasn't this giant heaping pile of horse shit, then possibly none of this would have ever been a problem to begin with. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. After this whole season 3 controversy, who do you genuinely think is at fault for this? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles. It's been a very long time since a week.